Today is September 1st, and the Yankees just finished their West Coast trip. They went 3-4, and they ended it with a game displaying everything that is wrong with the team this season. Maybe the most mismanaged, disappointing, terrible game of the season. Let's talk Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy, Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. Maybe the first ever morning after pod we've done. Maybe we've done it before in the last 5 years. It's not a common thing. Brought to you by SeatGeek. My name's Jimmy. Jake is with us. BBD is in the corner. I am here, and we're going to talk about the Yankees West Coast trip, where they didn't win either series. They go 3-4. And I don't know, just like maybe all the things that we've been complaining about or saying you should get ahead of this, you should fix this, came into play at the end. And I didn't sleep on it and wake up better. I feel like an insane person times a million. How are you, Jake?
James, Big Baby Davis. Shout out to Joe's McFly, who we accidentally sent to our warehouse this morning because we thought we were doing something. We moved it, which can't feel great. Actually,
we ninth at 9.
He got to show up. He got to ride around in his new whip, so he's having an all right time.
Ninth screen at 9 Joe's, just to make ourselves feel better.
Yeah, man. Last night was tough. Like you said, I mean, you know, Cole's kind of on one. You get a couple runs. I mean, thanks to like the Angels mostly helping out for the most part, and then you're like, all right, well, Cole looks dialed. This is who he's kind of trying to be, this dude on this team. I sneaky love it. Someone hops on the field, which is the number one bad Yankees omen this season. And then error, Shohei Ohtani. That just, yeah, man. I mean, even if we won, there still would have been kind of a bad taste in our mouths just because of the problems that took place. And yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I think I think both of us were feeling that itch to get on the mic last night, but we were trying to get some sleep, but I think that also kind of backfired on us because everyone was running hot. And then
I posted 2 videos last night, and that's about as much as people should have seen of me. If I sat in front of a mic for an hour, probably would have woke up and said, hey, first time ever, BBD, but I need you to delete last night's episode.
Take her down.
I can't have that on the record forever.
We're always going to record at this time, I think.
I was mad.
So, yeah, it was really frustrating, and at the same time, you know, I try not to be internet tough guy, and then I'll laugh at because, you know, end of the day, I'm like 5'10". I'm not in Olympic shape. I'm just, you know, your average looking guy. But you know, I tweet out last night. Obviously the IKF error is horrible, and we're gonna talk about that. The Trevino pinch hit, I can't get over. I can't get over. You want to brainwash yourself over a guy? At least I can make sense of that. The Trevino pinch hit is as bad as it gets. And then at the end, you know, because I'm Jake, I'm up late, I'm always joking in a way. And I close out with there's no names on the back of a jersey for the reason. You know, that's kind of internet tough guy to the whole Yankees organization because they shouldn't have pinch hit for Trevino. You had 2 really good options to pinch hit before him, and you pinch hit for Trevino because you were thinking about the names on the back instead of the names on the front. So, yeah, man. You know, hey, 98 Yankees, you know, I think they're out of reach, but you guys did match the 91 Yankees for the worst month in the past 30 years. So credit there where credit's due. And yeah, man, it's September 1 today. So, so let's see.
September 12th is the date. That's when Bader, Sevy are all scheduled to come back. I'm going to get ahead of the most common response.
Okay.
The two most common responses to all the things we're about to talk about. I'll just get ahead of it since the people that usually leave these don't listen to the full show anyway. The IKF talk is not about one play. Everyone's like, didn't score any runs. Like, I'm not talking about the game.
Right.
I'm talking about the entire season. And then the other thing is like, yes, there are other players struggling and slumping, and that's been the case all season. But when you talk about changes, there are actionable changes and not actionable changes. Are Rizzo and DJ going to be sent down or replaced by rookies or moved on from during the season? 0.0% chance. They will be given every shot because they're professionals, 10-year players in the league. It is not actionable to try to better the team in those spots. They are your best option. You wait for them to play to the player they are. There's been other areas of extreme easy action to try and better this team. And we were saying it in May and June. Shortstop, center field. There's easy places to get better where you're not tied to a guy. You're not, the best action isn't, let's just wait and see because I think he's got another level. So yes, I would like DJ to stop slumping. I would like Rizzo to start hitting. But that's all you can say about that is we need them to go. We need them to go. We need them to go. The Yankees aren't going to bench or put them down. There's other spots where they can get better on the margins where there's guys that have not been hitting all season or are having historical down months, down second halves, and you can get them some bench time. Donaldson, Glaber. IKF's been there the whole time as an easy area to get better. So we're not pinning the losing streak solely on IKF. And I'm not mad at him personally. I'm mad at the Yankees for the way they're deploying him and defending him like a stud when it's the easiest place to get better. It's the easiest spot to get better on both sides of the ball to try and attempt to get better. It's the easiest one you have. And instead of taking advantage of that or trying to get better in that spot or just mixing it up, they're just gaslighting themselves, the fan base, and defending. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense, Jake. I know Boone has to publicly back his guy.
Right.
But there's a difference between backing your guy and saying he's one of the best defensive shortstops in the league. Like, that's like my mom telling my teacher, like, hey, he had a bad week. He's a good kid versus he's a good kid and he's really good at math and he's super tall.
Right. I like that.
Like, there's defending me, mom, and then there's just, you're just lying about me.
I like that somehow our frustration has now led to us lying about our height twice. Yeah, man, and that's where there is other stuff tied into it. I mean, the Rizzo DJ situation, both those guys are banged up, and they keep saying, like, they said they're not going to IL either of them. Although Boone did say about Rizzo after today's game that they're going to kind of reevaluate things. So I don't know. Again, if Rizzo and DJ, you're absolutely right. There's nothing you do there. Those guys Rizzo has more than earned his keep on this team, and he has his role on this team is to be now the power hitting first baseman who plays solid defense. I mean, that's Anthony Rizzo. DJ is our guy that's supposed to be flexible, right? That's why we gave him that long contract. He could play second, third, and first, set the table at the top of the lineup, or, Benny being one of our best players recently, you kind of have a couple options with DJ. But if both of them are hurt, or if both of them are half hurt, you've now been limiting part of your roster due to them, which then ties in to other stuff. Because say Rizzo deserved an IL stint. Remember when Rizzo missed, 4 straight games, 6 straight games on the previous West Coast trip? The guy they would have called up was Oswald Peraza, but that would have sent ripples through the Yankees clubhouse because people would have seen that as a shots fired at IKF. So his dad called me out, and I think that's funny because actually watching IKF's press conference, guess what? If I liked IKF, the ball player, I'd love that dude. I mean, he came there, he was deadpan, he said, I screwed it up. It's not an excuse. I got to get better. That's all we ask from Yankee players, right? Is to do that. He's never hid.
Better than Montas's press conference after his outing in this series, which maybe we get to. I don't know.
Yeah, that'll be discussed as well. But yeah, and I guess this is where the thing, if Mr. IKF's listening, I'm not even calling for the shortstop job. I'm calling for the left side of the infield at this point. Because what are we doing? Jose Trevino has been better than Josh Donaldson all season. From April 1 till now, he has been better than him statistically. So, when you come up with 2 runners in the 9th, I'm sorry. You can't pinch hit for that guy. And by the way, the guy that hit after Donaldson is having a historically bad August. So to send up the rook, the one rook you decided to call up because you didn't think it would ruffle the team's feathers, even though he can play shortstop. And by the way, he has a couple times and it's looked fine. You can't pinch hit for Jose Trevino there. You're insulting the whole franchise.
Can I tell you, this is a word that Rocco Baldelli used when he was arguing about an umpire's decision, and I'm going to steal it right now. That pinch hit move was the most chicken shit managerial decision I've ever seen. Did not want did not want Donaldson to be in his office complaining, did not want to send Glaber into puppy dog sadness, so picked on Trevino, the dude that has come through them as an all-star and has come through in clutch situations better than the other two, has come through in 2 outs runner scoring position better than the other two, has had better stats on the season than the other two, and has had better stats in the second half than the other two. The only reason he pinch hit for Trevino and not Donaldson and Glaber is because he did not want to hurt the other two's feelings, but did not feel bad hurting Trevino's feelings. Simple. Because all you want is the lefty for the righty. Well, you got 3 righties, and you pinch it for the one who's done the most for us this season. That was a scared decision, not wanting his players to be mad at him. But now you pissed off the one player who's probably got the biggest heart out on the field and cares the most. And it was a bad move. You put the rookie in a tough spot. You just botched the whole thing.
And if your mental health feels like our mental health, why don't you go check out betterhelp.com/Yanks? That's right. What timing could it be?
Is this real? I thought you were doing a joke.
No, this is a new partner of ours. Betterhelp.com. We know the mental health side of sports, of life, is so important. We've figured that out as a society, and that's massive. And betterhelp.com is where you guys should go. Take care of your mental health. You all know it by this point. Like, our society used to kind of hide it, and now, like, we openly talk about it. And you can tell if your headspace is wrong, it'll throw off your life and who you are as a person. I know myself and Jessica. Jessica's helped me out a lot with this, different therapies and things like that. Try to get yourself less stressed, more confident. Heal some emotional stuff. One time I almost started bawling because I realized why I'm attached to sports so much. Kind of heavy stuff on the air right now. It's only going to get heavier with this Yankees talk. But if you're thinking about giving therapy a try, the timing of this, BetterHelp is a great option. Get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey, and you can switch therapists at every time. I think that's one of the biggest fears, right? That you're going to get matched up with someone that you don't like talking to. That's kind of a nightmare. So you can switch at any time, and when you're ready to get on top of your mental health, go to betterhelp.com/Yanks today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Yanks. Timing is everything in life. I mean, do we just want to keep rolling?
Yeah, I mean, we can get to awards and stuff at the end, unless you wrote like badass burns that are great for game 2. Do you want to do that one?
I mean, they can only be so badass with what's happening. So I'd rather just keep talking about it because
Well, let's do awards because I think we can get to big conversations through awards.
So you just want to jump there now?
Yeah, and then anything that's left will left. But I don't want to step on all awards by just going straight open forum. Let's do some positivity right now for our mental health.
Okay. Well, do you want to do the Roman hot wood then? Because we got some things we got to do this episode as well.
I think that ties into somebody who might
probably
be
getting
pride.
pride.
Okay.
I think it lumps in.
Okay. So we're going to awards.
Yes.
All right.
Unless you have a crazy cool line and a burn you want to share.
What did I have? I mean, the starter in game 2 was Mike Myers, so there was a don't get slaughtered joke. Let's see. Jose Luis Suarez, they try to take a bite out of the pinstripes. That's a soccer reference. How about AC Milan, huh? We're AC Milan fans now? That's pretty nuts. Jimmy's not. I am. I'm thinking about it. Zlatan's over there. I'm thinking about getting a jersey. And then, I don't know, for Patrick Sandoval, I really thought I'd have something better. Like Sandoval, it feels like there's something there. I just did oh, hey, SpongeBob, and for Patrick. So, and I didn't even really watch SpongeBob. So those are the burns for the 3 games.
My pride of the Yankees
Yes.
is going to be the same person who wins the Roman Hotwood Award, which I'll tell you about in a second. But it's Aaron Judge because he's got the hottest wood. As these games were becoming late night fugue state back burner, it was like the only moments of like defogged I had were Judge's at bats, where it was kind of like my brain was like, I think you'll like this, lock in. Wake up a little. So he hits number 50 and 51 this series. He's the same pace as Roger Maris right now, right? He's got, I mean, to be the AL leader, to get to 61, he's got to hit 10 in the next 31 games. I wish it wasn't being drowned out. Wish the division was locked up and this was all we could like pay attention to and have fun. And it wasn't like the one shining thing in the pile. But that's what it is. And at least we have that because it is very fun when he steps up to the plate right now. And to see pitchers have to navigate it. Do you walk them? How carefully do you pitch them? And it's so impressive when you see this. And it had to be the same with Bonds and the other guys. Maybe not Maris because they said he never got intentionally walked during his season. But it's tough when you only get 1 to 3 pitches a game to hit. And he's still cranking them out, man. So he is my Roman hot wood of the month. Is this his second time winning that?
Second or third, right?
I think 3. I think you went back to back May, June.
I got to grab something from my front door.
Sure. I can talk. I can find a way to figure out how to talk about Aaron Judge. And yeah, congrats on winning the Roman Hot Wood Award, Aaron Judge. If you guys are struggling to last longer in bed, Judge has been lasting all season, baby. Roman swipes are what you need there. Safe, effective, premature ejaculation treatment. Go to GetRoman.com/Yanks today. If approved, you'll get $10 off your first order. That's GetRoman.com/Yanks. So if your wood's maybe even a little too hot, if that's the problem, check out the Roman swipes. I think you might like what you run into there. And so I'll start out big, kind of with the Roman hot wood side of this, and then I'll zoom in a little more. Aaron Judge's first half was pretty good, right? It allowed him to chase the home run record. He was 284, a 983 OPS. You remember he limped into the All-Star break just a little bit. 33 home runs. That's pretty good. Since the All-Star break, he's got a 1.257 OPS. That's in 38 games. That is in absolute Looney Tune land. I mean, for August, he was only 1.091, which is still insane. And yeah, man, I do have another pride of the Yankees. My backup pride was going to be the fans in Anaheim. The Yankee fans in Anaheim really brought it. That was awesome. Every time Judge came up or the Yankees did something or Judge homer, the place went nuts. Like you've been asking, when are we going to get, like, if Judge breaks his home run record, like, we need some DVD B-roll and footage right now. And Anaheim had that. So I debated giving my pride to the Yankee fans out in Anaheim. I did find someone else, so they'll get a side pride. And Jimmy, you were asking, when is this going to get real? We threw out 50, and that kind of felt right and still kind of felt right. For me, I found out, because I haven't been a part of a Yankees Aaron Judge home run race, it was 51. I don't know if it's my deep-rooted ties to Bernie. I don't know if it's because I half predicted it on Twitter, and the kids give me credit, even though I was just like senile and trying to stay awake and tweeting. When I heard Michael Kay say he is 10 away from the record, that's more so the important thing. And humans are pretty simple. We measure stuff. That's why I guessed 50, because I was like, that's an even number people like. 10 away from 61? That's insanity. That's insanity that it happened in August. By the way, this season goes like a week into October. So that for me was and I think it tied into the August haze and being up late and being tired, that I heard Michael Kay say he is 10 away from breaking the home run record. Used to be like the numero uno record in sports. That woke me up for kind of like the only time this series. So you picked a good one in Aaron Judge.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
No problem, dog.
Did you give your pride out?
I did not. I said the Yankee fans in
I didn't
Anaheim.
know if that was official or not.
No, they got an assistant pride. There was one person that I really thought.
Yeah, I have one. I think I could, or a couple.
There's a couple loose options, but there's one that jumped out to me. It's Greg Weissert.
Oh, that wasn't mine, but I like that.
It's Greg Weissert. He comes in the Tyone game where Tyone gets hit in the forearm. We'll see what other updates we have on that. They said he looked good. We'll see. Greg Weissert, he pitches 2 innings, 2 clean innings, and my guy mows down Ohtani. He punches out the bad dude. So incredible. And, I went on a radio show, the DA show on CBS Sports, and I wasn't sure what we were talking about. And it was right after the Oakland Athletics Sex in the Stands thing. And I had a pretty good Jake line where they asked me about it, and I said, how could you not be romantic about baseball? This is a genuine one of those moments, because Greg Weissert, we saw him take the mound for the first time under a week ago, and it was as bad of a debut as you can have. And here he is a couple days later, and he mows down this generational all-time ball player, and he made it look easy, too. Mike King reposted it on Instagram. He was tasting Weissert. And then it was so funny. They cut to Weissert in the bullpen yesterday, and he was chilling, dog. He had the mustache. He looked like an extra from Top Gun. He was here. So congratulations to Greg Weissert.
Got to be his first pride, right?
If he's got another.
Maybe the AAA Talkin Yanks show
Yeah.
has been giving him a ton. He's been doing really well down there.
Triple Yanks.
Thought there was a chance he could do it last week because within the series, obviously the bad game was part of that, but then he did within that series come back and have the two 6 up, 6 down.
Would have been a funky pride.
It would have been funky. Yankees played funky, so I did double check. He didn't get it last time, so this is his first.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Yeah.
Good job. Next up,
Mm.
You Yankee motherfucker.
Oh.
everyone.
Mm.
Like everyone, I'll go Montas, dude. I'll go him. Like you've been bad. You've been bad. I mean, you've been bad, and then you're. I don't like doing this anymore because people deal with. I think Montas cares. I think he wants to be better. I think he's not happy with his performance. When I was 14, and I would hear these interviews and have people see different have people have different reactions, it would really, really irk me. And then when we're in the middle of a stretch like that, I revert to that irrational self. I mean, in Anaheim too, that's when Ian Kennedy did it, which like fucking broke me when I was 15 years old. Anaheim game. So I don't even get into it, but it was if you were to judge his care level from that one interview, the score would come up not great for him. I do think he cares. I think maybe he just hasn't figured out how to appease me personally in a post game. It's very much like I threw the ball well. I'm good. I've been feel real good. I had a good start.
Dropped luck. Yeah, and I want to start baseball wise. The Yankees, who are obviously in this.
I have to make a quick announcement.
Sure.
I'm on new medicine, and I have to eat with the medicine, and I'm not a morning eater.
Right.
And I realized I haven't eaten yet, and people hate when you eat on podcasts, but I have to eat right now, so I apologize.
Go eat.
Yeah.
Go eat.
Eat some.
We'll take care of that. Let's start with baseball. Frankie Montas, he starts the 4-3 game the Yankees lose. And yeah, one of my biggest things in sports are punchback innings. The Yankees were down 1-0. They tied it at 1-1, and then they went up 2-1. And it was like, okay, Yankees, like let's break this funk we've been talking about. He gives up another punchback himself to make it tied, and I was like, that was the one thing I really wanted. Like, even if the rest of the start didn't go well, I super believe if I was joining the Yankees front office, I would talk about shutdown innings after you score. I think that's a part and a mental side of the game that like people will try to dive into, and in 10 years we'll be talking about how important that is. His press conference was bad. I think he gets lucky that it's at the end of an all-time bad month, and that it was a late-night interview, because if the interview had happened at 10:30 or 11, I think he would have got blown up a lot more, and just with the general vibes of everything on the team. So, and yeah, if you didn't see it, Jimmy touched upon it a little bit. There's a couple smiles, which, he wasn't, I remember when Sonny first let his smiles rip, it wasn't on that level, and we're not even attacking that.
I'm not even attacking smiles.
No,
because Chapman smiles too, and it's just kind of like a what the fuck, like,
right?
Just, like, I can't believe it. I don't think I've ever attacked smiles.
No, but it's some people take it the wrong way, and I guess maybe I'm here defending the smile, because guess what, people, you haven't had a bunch of cameras and microphones in front of your face after losing a baseball game. So let's not just attack that. And then he talks about bad luck and this, that, and the other. And it goes back to what I genuinely said about IKF before. IKF stood in front of the cameras, was kind of sad, remorseful last night, and was like, I got to be better. And you say, okay, kid, Problem is the baseball card doesn't say it will. That Frankie Montas, yeah, man, he's been bad since he came over. We traded away Jordan Montgomery, who went on an all-time heater for himself, which then, all the love we give Matt Blake and the Yankees themselves, Monty started throwing a four-seamer and guys couldn't touch it. So, like, what's going on there? But Frankie Montas was a guy that came in and we were like, this guy's got a good chance to be our number 2 starter. I don't know. I know I've been a Tyone stan in a big game. If playoffs started tomorrow, Tyone's healthy. I'd rather die with that guy than Montas. You got a month, dude. You've got a month, and it's a brutal ask.
Not as number 2, but just over Montas.
Yes, over Montas. So, hey, dude, you got 2 months. By the way, go look at Montas's baseball card. Not as flashy as you think. Not as flashy as you think. And there's some PD stuff in there. So, like, I don't know, man. It's bad. It's bad. You got a month to figure it out, kid. And, the stuff does pass the sniff test, but it doesn't matter if you don't perform. Everything we're talking about, whether infield, pitching, an outfield spot or whatever, we're trying to win a World Series. And right now, I mean, does any Yankee fan want to see Frankie Montas with the ball in the playoffs? No. So, tough interview, tough outing. Turn it around, kid. It's still technically a small sample, but we only got a small sample left. So, Jimmy's got something to say, but he just took a big bite, so I'm going to talk about... Here he goes.
He threw 4 splitters in a row.
Yes.
The 4th one got hit for a homer. The splitter is a pitch that cannot exist on its own, like a changeup. It is a changeup. It's labeled a changeup.
Yeah.
So the baseball side of this is he shook to that. Or he didn't shook off that, but I think he shook to that. No, he did. He shook to that. And you can't do that. He has a slider. He's got a sinker. He's got a 4-seam fastball. It was Ohtani, right?
Yep.
And yeah, the splitter, and he knows this because it's the way he pitches. Like, the splitter's his best pitch, but it's not his most thrown pitch because it needs another pitch. It's a sucker fish. It needs a whale. But it's a badass sucker fish.
Yeah.
Like a cool one. But it needs the whale. And in his interview, Boone said, holy shit. What's up with Boone? He threw Montas under the bus in his interview. He said, yeah, you can't throw 4 in a row. He didn't say he's been the best pitcher in the AL and lie to us.
Yeah.
He threw Andujar under the bus 2 months ago. Boone said, honestly, he was honest with the crowd, you can't throw 4 splitters in a row. It's something we're going to have to talk to him about. He can't shake to 4 splitters in a row. They immediately went to Montas, said, Boone just said it. 4 pitch selection. What do you think? And his first answer was like, no, I don't think so. But yeah, probably shouldn't throw 4 in a row. I was like, what?
They asked him, it was something along the lines of like, do you regret the pitch? And he kind of said no at first, and he's like, no for it. But then later on in the sentence, he was like, yeah, if I could go back, I guess I wouldn't throw that pitch. So maybe. And
I think when someone asks you, do you regret, your natural inclination is just like, no. Oh, and then you're like, oh, okay, wait, maybe I should have. So,
which is kind of dumb. I don't want to say I'm a regret stan. And Joe's actually sent us a really good Joe's McFly text earlier, how he was like, everything happens in life for a reason, basically. And you can believe in that, but you can also like, I don't regret some stuff. Like, yeah. So, yeah, man.
Yeah. He's my MFer.
Okay.
I mean, offensively, it's almost like they split the vote so it landed on a pitcher.
Right.
Like there was just so many Irish candidates that I chose the Italian.
Right.
Which is how John F. Kennedy won his first election.
Ooh. Well,
his dad just went out and found another Italian man with the same name as his biggest competitor and paid him to also run for city council. So say his name was Jack Scavone. His John F. Kennedy's dad just found another Jack Scavone and was like, I'll give you $100 to run for city council. And then just split the Jack Scavone vote.
It's brilliant. That's brilliant.
It is.
Yeah, Jack Scavone does live here. Man, I'll go kind of Band-Aid mode. I know he's been collecting them up, but he's been deserving them. I'll go Glaber because the month of August ends up in a place that, you know, I didn't think Glaber Torres could even like end up like in his worst slumps of slumps. I didn't think that could happen. He ends up going 1 for 8 this series. He's swinging at everything like we've talked about, and you guys saw on Talkin' Yanks. Ryan Ruocco, who's a guy that doesn't get flustered, was 2 weeks ago was in a mental warfare with himself about Glaber Torres' at bats and how bad they've been. And it, again, May, this guy had a 799 OPS. We'll call it 800. I'll round up. In June, he had an 817 OPS. In July, he had an 811 OPS. This guy was clicking. This guy was going. He finishes August with the Coldwood Award, 180 batting average, a 464 OPS, which in Glaber's slump of slumps, if he's the ball player he thinks he is, that just should never happen. And I talk about how slumps happen to everyone in this sport, and they will, and they will. And, we're going to, at some point, Judge has slumped this year briefly, and it's kind of incredible, but that's...
He's like Homer during them. It's weird.
That's baseball Susan. And the reason Donaldson dodges this bullet is Donaldson, 100%, has played great defense at third base. I know the throw gets away, but also DJ was at first, so that's part of the reason the throw gets away. If Rizzo's there, I don't know. Went off the end of DJ's glove? I don't know.
Rizzo's there as a defensive replacement.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Josh Donaldson's defense on the year has been fantastic at third base. Fantastic. He even made a couple highlight plays in that game. So it's like, okay, well, if he's out there and he's not hitting, he's playing great defense at third. Glaber had been playing really good defense at second base. I was giving him some high praise. He has the mental error again where he takes his foot off the bag early on the double play this series. And what is this all tied to? It was the fact that he heard he was almost traded. And we've seen Glaber just swim laps in his own head and be heads down on himself. And again, let me compliment a couple guys we're being tough on. IKF hasn't been head down all year. Josh Donaldson impossibly hasn't been head down all year. And we've kind of been waiting for the Paul O'Neill freakout or something, which I'd still semi-allow, but he's been head up. I'm going to try my best to do my job. Glaber has those lapses where it's just not there, and it's currently not there. And yeah, man, we've seen any time that there has been something you can mentally connect to Glaber, it has shook him. And him finding out he was almost traded for Pablo Lopez at the trade deadline has near broken him. So I don't know, kid. I don't know if you're going to find yourself. You want to know the part that actually makes me mad? And I don't get to this level a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Glaber Torres is 25 years old. We've talked about him and Donaldson being in this like platoonish situation, where they're each half getting at bats. You sit one day. We've hit days where we don't even notice Glaber sitting. And guess what? Glaber's in the dugout, and instead of coming with this fire and vim and vigor of a 25-year-old who's basically been benched on what should be a World Series team, he's just gone into a shell. So, man, I don't know. There's obviously a difference between pressing and putting your best foot forward and being in a slump, and where do the lines overlap on that? But, man, I don't know. Keep your head up. You play your best baseball. There's two identifiable traits when you are playing your best baseball. You hit the ball to the right center field gap, and you smile. That's the full scouting report on good Glaber Torres. So if you're not doing either of those, call up a kid.
They got so many spots on the team right now. They have to play two guys that need a Phantom IL or rest every game. 2 to 3. It's crazy.
Yep.
Regular awards.
Regular old awards are brought to you by DraftKings. And hey, maybe these Yankees are really sending you spiraling and you're getting ready for football season. And good on you. If you're a Giants fan, we got some really good Giants content. Why don't you get, hey, I know I haven't created any content yet, but I could be your Jets guy. Why don't you go to DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NFL, and they are giving you their bet $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. And I'm pretty sure they've got a new one that I think if you spin this right, you're going to be in a good spot. If you bet any NFL team and they go up 7 at any point, you win the bet. You win the bet. Any point during the game, if the team you bet on goes up 7, you'll get paid instantly, even if they end up losing at the end. So if you're looking to get into this, now is the time of year to do it. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOHNBOY to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code JOHNBOY only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Details. I'm gonna give the Big Green Award.
Ooh. A movie that we know on Talkin' Yanks is linked closely to me.
Chubby, curly-haired goalie.
Chubby, ridiculous goalie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's part of it.
Okay.
The link.
He's part of the link to this award. There's a guy, an actor in that movie, who goes by the name Bug Hall. All right.
There's also a guy named Newt.
Newt.
That's the kid. That's like the
yeah. Bug Hall plays Newt, which I mean that's Scott's plan.
That little kid's first name is Bug.
He on IMDb, that person operates under the name of Bug Hall.
What's he look as a grown up? I mean, he was in a lot of stuff when he was that age.
He's all right.
He probably had a really big 1993 to 1995.
He looks good. 6'2", 37 years old. Your Big Green Award is going to
Little Rascals, The Big Green, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. That's a nice run. Those are all movies.
I'll go with Anthony Rizzo.
No. The Big Green, my favorite scene in The Big Green is when Larry, the goalie, has to face his fears. And he realizes that, every time there's a penalty kick, he envisions the other team as some weapon yielding enemy, like a knight or a ninja or like a motorcycle gang that's coming to kill him. And in the championship scene, he realizes he can't run from it. That doesn't work. And he says, "Come on, Larry, become part of the nightmare. Turn yourself into a monster and fight back." And I'm giving this award to Clay Holmes.
Clay Holmes, yeah.
Because what's the scariest thing Clay Holmes can do when coming into a game?
For us or the opposing team, or is it the same answer either way? Throw it at the guy's head.
Throw it at the guy's head. Just throw the first pitch so incredibly wild.
Yeah.
That's been a very true all season. If that first pitch isn't in the zone or, just around the zone on the edge, you're screwed. And his first time he comes back, he looks good. He gets a double play ball, and then Glaber said, well, I was enjoying watching Clay Holmes pitch, so maybe I'll just let this guy not get out, and stepped off the base. So they reviewed it, come back on the field. Clay Holmes gets to pitch a little more. That was nice of Glaber to do that. Yeah. And he looked good. The stuff looked good. It was dipping. He threw something to Squid. He also, Squid got bunt out on a 2-strike pitch. So it was like was that enough to really see Clay Holmes stuff? Comes back the next game, the first pitch at the guy. That's a nightmare. That's our fear. That's Clay Holmes' fear. That's everyone's like nightmare. Oh my God, it's going to be. K even says on the broadcast, like, that's been a sign, but he did it on purpose, Jake.
Yeah.
Because he's so scared of that first pitch, wild pitch. And then he realized, I don't need to run from this. I'm going to fucking become part of the nightmare. And he dotted one 4 feet up, 2 feet in, exactly where he wanted it, and said, great, out of the way. I will move on now and pitch. So just brilliant performance, brilliant mental game from Clay Holmes.
Well done, Jimmy. Another favorite of yours. I mean, quicksand from the replacements. You have one bad thing happens, and then another, and another, and all of a sudden you're in quicksand.
You mean like bees on the field?
What you mean, like bees on the field? Clay Holmes last night, 94-mile-per-hour sink job at David Fletcher's dome to start it off, and you're going, okay, and we're back. And then something I asked for, and I do think it's been an improvement, and I think it can help him get out of the bad place. He goes slider, and by the way, they're 2 good ones. His slider, and I think it was part of what he worked on when these struggles first started happening, needed to become his get-out-of-jail-free card. And I think it has, because he threw the first one, and that, when you're sitting Clay Holmes sinker and one just came at your dome, you're going to get a slider over the plate and not hit it. He comes back to it. It's a good one. It's David Fletcher, one of the best contact tools in the league. He swings through that, and then he goes back to the sinker, back up to 96. Good movement, and David Fletcher, again, cannot make contact of it. And then he gets Trout, and then he gets Ohtani, strikes out Ohtani. So, yeah, man, that was, you're right. That was some good face your fear stuff that Clay Holmes is going to run into adversity, whether it's playoff baseball, whether it's himself. And I think he's finding the solutions to get himself out of there when he's on the mound in that situation. Because we saw earlier this year, I mean, he went to the bad place. There was nobody else on the field except Clay Holmes in those bad moments. And I think he's finding a solution, so I like that.
Nice.
That's the good stuff, man.
That's my top 5 personal favorite award for myself.
Good.
I would bet 80% of our audience doesn't know what I was talking about and hasn't seen Big Green.
Yeah.
So personally, I'm pleased with the story I told.
Love that.
And now you're up. Turn into a monster and fight back. It's a great scene.
It's a great
We met that guy. We met Ham.
Patrick Rana. My first award is going to be the Piggyback Award.
Okay, the Piggyback Award. Get on my back for a piggyback ride. Having lots of fun. Won't you get on my back for a piggyback ride? Loaisiga.
Jim, the Piggyback Award is going to Jonathan Loaisiga. Note that in the documents, he got his first one right this year. Jonathan Loaisiga, I'm piggybacking off your award. I was going to call it like a buddy cop, like let me be a buddy cop with Clay Holmes. Like, I can do it. Jonathan Loaisiga in his last 18 appearances, 15 innings, a 1.8 ERA. And Jim, you noted it. It's still early on. It didn't seem like Johnny Laza was back, Johnny Lasagna might have announced he was back in his last appearance. He comes into the game, a little 1.1er, a little up down for you, a little hey, how are you? And he comes out in his second inning, or excuse me, his first inning. He comes in to get one more. He comes in to get Mike Trout as a little, hey, you had a clean inning. Why don't you come get arguably the best hitter to ever play baseball?
How about it?
Strikes out Magnarius Sierra, all-time name. Strikeouts Matt Tice, medium name. Strikes out David Fletcher, not a baseball name. And Tice and Fletcher were on 6 pitches. Swinging, 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 looking, swinging. Jonathan Loaisiga. It'll be a real treat if he continues this up and Clay Holmes goes full big green mode on us. If the rest of the team can figure it out, those bullpen options that we've dreamed about and we hoped about and what it's going to look like come October, man, those would be 2 big ones. If we could get 2021 Johnny Laza and first half Clay Holmes at the back end of our bullpen, that is a winning formula. So I'm just piggybacking on you. Come on, Johnny.
Loaiziga's outing was very good. I agree. The sinker is now back because the two outings when he was good, it was not sinker based, and I was like, well, you kind of need the sinker to be good for us to really be in on this. What was super interesting, Jake, is that he started throwing his changeup, which he hadn't thrown a lot. I wonder if he just hadn't faced lefties in the other games. I'm looking at him now.
I think it's a Yankee build-up thing.
You think so?
Yeah, kind of like let's work on getting, which we don't necessarily disagree with, but kind of ties into the month of August. Like, don't bust out all your party tricks yet. Let's figure out the first couple, and then we'll get
there. Okay. It's also like Sierra's a lefty. He threw 3 to him. I think he threw 4 changeups, and he got, it was a 100% whiff rate on the changeup, but the 4th one was to Tice,
I believe it's.
Kay was saying it in a way that I was like, oh, that's how you say it. So it's a lefty thing. So, but it looked nasty. The changeup. Now it's not the best crop of hitters to like really, but it had a 100% whiff rate on the 4 that he threw. He got 3 swings, 3 misses. He used it to get the strikeout twice. 66 put away facing lefties. You need pitchers that can get both sides out. He's one of those. So it was nice to see that.
And yeah, have a good September, Johnny, because I know it doesn't matter to us, but we've talked to a lot of ball players. You know, your numbers on the scoreboard matter to yourself. And, you know, that ERA, it's down to 5.29. If he has a good September, like seeing your name come up on the scoreboard and your ERAs in the 3s, to Johnny Lasagna, that means something. So, hey, have a good September, kid.
Yeah. Do it. I dare you.
Do it. Cardicola, do it.
Do it.
Who's your final award?
Man, I've been searching. I just been searching quotes and stuff, and I really don't know, man. I don't know what to talk about and what not to talk about, and I don't know how to phrase this as an award. I'm going to call this the 70-30 award.
Okay.
The 70-30 award.
Okay.
Because it's something I want to talk about.
70-30 award. Any guesses?
I mean, my best guess would be Donaldson, but we already scratched that itch a little bit. But what do you got?
Cole.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of dialogue about Cole right now.
Sure.
And there's people blaming him for it. And there's people defending him. And like most things, nothing's 100% one way or the other. And I am 70-30 on this. Maybe 80-20. Maybe 75-30. Maybe 75-25.
75-30.
75-30, yeah. Because it is a bugaboo that Cole gets flustered.
Yep.
Guy runs on the field and we get a delay, and then he has 2 errors behind him, and then he gives up a home run to Ohtani. This isn't the best example of it for me, but I have talked about it on the show before that kind of he just can get off his rocker and not get back on. So this isn't the best example, but Cole went 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs.
Yeah.
And there's people, and it's become very much a non-Yankee fan thing to just kind of give him the Bryce Harper treatment of like, he stinks. He'll never live up to that contract. Go back to when we did the deal. We did at winter meetings. We talked about the contract Cole signing. I'm pretty sure I announced he won't live up to this money.
Right.
Oh, there's Joe's. Like, he's getting paid. The Yankees had to pay so much to get him because that's what he was getting.
Right.
And I think, like, don't expect him to ever repeat 2017. So I'm going to stay there. Like, I understand he's making a ton of money, but a top 3 Cy Young finisher his first 2 seasons. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And his ERA is under 3.5 right now, I think. That's pretty good. I would like him to not let the big inning get away when things go wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't want to make that point without making sure you understand that like 70% is in defense of Cole. Like, there's 2 errors behind him. And it's not like Matt Theis clipped him.
Right.
MVP guy clipped him. Now he threw a pitch right down and got behind him and then tried to get back, and that was bad. But like, I saw people trying to tweet about this, like, you can't let him beat you. And it's like, well, dude, that's what they say about that's who will beat you.
Right.
If the error wasn't made, you would have intentionally walked him or pitched around him. And then you wouldn't have let him beat you. But the errors were made. So it's like, I acknowledge, and I was pointing it out earlier in the year. Yeah, Cole needs to have a little more bounce back, a little more like, he can't get like out of sorts, which it seems like he does. But on the flip side, he went 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. He's not at fault for the loss at all. It's a very good start. I'll take it every time. He's having a very odd season, but a decent season. And he's had the worst defense behind him. Katie Sharp tweeted out the outs above average behind him are awful for the most behind any Yankee player. And IKF has, I think, 5 misplays or bobbles. He's picked them up 3 times. And he's let it ruin it 2 times, I think now, or 3 times and 4 times. So it's like the 70-30, because I want to talk about the 30%, but people are turning that into 100%. And I'm like, no, he's still good and had a really good start last night.
Yeah, for me, it's sometimes I reference it in the bullpen. If you add someone to your bullpen, it can change your whole bullpen outlook. It's the rhythm of the bullpen, or the butterfly effect. The baseball butterfly effect becomes very, very real. And it's something that gets overlooked in this because Josh Donaldson had a really nice night at third base. That ball gets thrown away, which butterfly effect, Anthony Rizzo, our normal first baseman, a guy who won a platinum glove over there, what if he makes a really nice stretch and catches that ball and it's an out? Or, even better, let's say Anthony Rizzo comes off the bag and stops that ball. So then your runner's on first base and you can't continue to do the butterfly effect. Kay talks about it. But that was a grounder right to IKF, which maybe he fields it cleanly and just tosses to second and it's a double play. Who knows? We'll never know, but we do know what did happen. And you're right. Like, just because, whatever happened behind you doesn't, like, hey, well, Cole, Ohtani got you. Not your fault. No, you threw a pitch that had a fastball. I become a little more lenient on that if something happens with 2 outs and you're supposed to be out of an inning. That mental warfare is brutal for anyone, even the toughest people in the world, although it's part of your job to work through that. But that is the ripple effect of baseball right there. If you want to throw the person running on the field into that too, sure, knock yourself out. But no, I mean Cole, and it's easier said than done, but you can't give up the home run to Shohei Ohtani there. But he got him, and that's baseball a little bit. And like you were saying about Cole in a complimentary way, he's leading the league in starts, innings pitched, strikeouts. So he's very much doing Gerrit Cole things. The ERA isn't as flashy. It's 3.28. By the way, it was 3.23 last year. And he has his blow-up games.
3.28?
His ERA is 3.28 on the season.
That's really good.
It's really good. It's really good. And as we know, Cole in those blow-up games, if we did our take away every starting pitcher's worst 2 starts, Gerrit Cole would probably be a top 3 starter in the AL this year.
If the Yankees official score wasn't from Hawaii, it would be lower. Look at that Royals game. Was that 4 runs that were all unearned?
Yeah.
5 runs that are all unearned. I dare anyone to go back and watch that inning that's not a Yankees fan and tell me if those were earned or unearned runs.
Yeah.
Like, I was Cole's dad.
Yeah.
Another great quote from the Big Green is when the bad guy, he goes, what's the kid's name? Let's say it's Anthony James. Sure. He goes, that's Anthony James Jr. He's my favorite player. He's my son.
Yeah.
It's really good. If Cole's dad wanted to start a petition to in 10 years, be like, actually, Mr. 3000 style, actually, I'd love an official score to go clean up some of these unearned runs, and I'd sign it.
Right.
And then we get Judge's 52nd home run in 2017 too. Why don't we start righting wrongs? Galarraga should have a perfect game.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. And that was honestly the part of the Boone presser that made me the mad, because well, actually, no, I already did my whole Trevino thing. That's the part that made me the most mad overall. But the fact that he referenced errors,
Jay Jr. Bayo's got the son's name is Jay Jr. That's Jay Jr. He's my favorite player.
It better. When Boone referenced the errors, it was kind of a double oh no. Because they've been cooking the books. They've been cooking the books. They have been. So I understand a manager having to get in front of a microphone, especially a New York manager, and defending your guy and all of that. And what's Boone supposed to say? I don't want him out there. No, Boone's hands are tied either way. But if you want to say he's one of the best defensive shortstops in the league, and you've needed to brainwash yourself to tell yourself that as a manager of the Yankees, even that makes sense to me. But to go with the errors argument, I mean, that was disgusting.
They truly believe it, just to let you know.
I know.
A lot of people were like, Boone's lying through his teeth. They truly believe it.
The reason Aaron Boone has the job from the start is he agreed to go with whatever the Yankees front office wanted. It was the prime time for front offices were calling all the shots, and Booney agreed to that. So
they
even if he doesn't believe it, every team has their own formula that are similar to the formulas we have access to, and the Yankees formula is somewhere very similar to DRS, and it has IKF as one of the best defensive shortstops in the league, and they will believe that until they are wrong, and then they will
believe it.
make a change after the season, like they did not believing in lefties and not believing in speed and not believing in defense.
Here's what they lean on. The errors, which they know the official scorer has missed, I think 10 to 12 now.
You can control that easily.
DRS, which is a very flawed defensive stat. Like I tweeted about last night, and I got that information straight from a dude who does DRS.
And hey, even to cover our butts on outs above average a little bit, guess what? That ain't great either. That's why those stats sometimes have players opposite.
Yeah, but I like outs above average more. But anyway, and the third thing they will say, and like Cashman has said in his press conferences, is comparing it to last year. And it's like, yeah, guys, last year, your shortstop defense was so bad, you publicly announced he can never play shortstop again. So if you didn't improve from that, it'd be a problem. That'd be like, me trying to sign up for basketball at 5'4" freshman year. And they're like, we're going to need you to be we're looking for height on this position. We're looking for height. And I come back the next year and I'm 5'6", and they're like, great, we got tall. You didn't get tall. You got marginally taller, still very short.
Right.
But that's how they're selling it. Our defense improved from last year. Your defense was so bad last year, you banished the dude from the position. And you got marginally better. So that's how they're brainwashing themselves. But I think they're brainwashed. People think that they're lying through their teeth through like a gritted smile. And
no,
I think Boone fucking believes they have one of the best shortstops in the league. They believe that. Otherwise, I mean, oh my God, there's a full clown on my screen to the right. Just to let you know, my screen to the right is a game, and they were showing the fans, and then there's someone just full clown in the stands just clapping.
Clown. Full makeup and everything?
I'll send you a picture. I mean, just full clown.
Okay.
Wild.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things there. Glaber's no good, very bad season last year where he couldn't hit, he couldn't play defense. His offensive numbers, 93 OPS plus. I think IKF's back around 81, which is right around his career number. Yep, it is 81. Okay, cool. Knew that off the top of my head. Sweet. Yeah, man. I said it before, tying it into Rizzo and DJ. Are they hurt? Are they not? And if they were, I think the only reason one of those guys isn't on the IL is because their only option to call up would be Peraza, and they refuse to do that because they think that's going to break IKF. And I don't know, man. Maybe I'm a little old school. That's what people say about me. I believe in competition, and guess what? If you called up Peraza and Cabrera and you said, all right, Glaber, Donaldson, if you don't care about the name on the back of the jersey, if you don't care about the bankroll, why don't we roll it out there and see who's the best player? Because that's a good way to figure out your best team. And they don't believe in that. They don't believe in that. Because they believe in, quote-unquote, staying the course, even when the course looks like Gallo did for however many games. Or, when Hicks was in his bad streak. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I fully agree with you. They think IKF's great. That's a guy in a full clown.
That's a full clown.
It's a guy in a full clown.
I mean, I don't know why they're going full clown. Neither of the team is named the Clowns.
I mean, you're going to get on TV if you go full clown. If there's someone full clown at the Yankee game, you get put on TV.
Dennis Lane just popped in the chat. Hope y'all know IKF isn't the reason we were losing. Go to the start of the show. I addressed that right away for the people that's their only response. And that's another thing. Well, what is that? So we can't get better in places we're bad? That's what we were saying in May. Yes, there's positions that are underperforming
They're not the reason the team's losing. So you're just not going to get better in places where you can get better. That's a really losing attitude. And that's what we were telling them back in May. And then we said it in June. And now here we are stuck because you didn't improve in the improvable areas at the times you're allowed to improve your team.
Right.
That thought process, they're not the reason we're losing. They're not the reason we're winning. So let's try and change it out to a different option that may be the reason we win.
Right.
It's such a losing mindset. It's not hurting us. Okay, is it helping us? No. Then let's try and get some help if it's not helping us. I'm sick of people saying that. Obviously, it's not the sole reason the team's in a slump right now, but it's an easy area to get fixed.
Improvement.
And improve.
And that ripple effect I talked about.
It's baseball. Minimum 10 guys play for you in one night. Really hard for it to be just one of their faults that a loss happens.
Seen it though.
It's happened.
Inaction causes doubt.
IKF. And this is, I said this weeks ago, check the tapes, check the receipts. Joe's has some. You know, if we open up the left side of the infield, like I asked, guess what? Like IKF at third, I'm open to that. I opened that up last week. If his defense looks really good over there and he's outplaying Donaldson, like I'll run it. Like I don't care. I don't care about who you are. I care about Yankees baseball and I care about a good final product. Joe's McFly is pointing to, I think, his where you'd put a ring on your finger, and that's the sick part about Yankee fans. That's the sick part about Yankee fans. My final award, I don't know if we even want to do a discussion on it, but it's the Get On Top award. Red Hot Chili Pepper song.
Get on top.
Complications of the mastermind. Get on top.
Someone called into morning show.
Yeah.
And said that there's the song Californication, there's a line that can easily be turned into Tyler Wade. And they want, if he comes back up, they just wanted me to let you know that they were shocked you never did it.
Done.
Yeah. Get on top. DJ?
Close. It's Benny. We've had a lot of conversations about him. It's still a fun one in Yankee land. We kind of did it midweek. I think the Yankees' best current lineup is DJ Benny at the top. Actually, it depends what DJ's doing. But Benny's been playing good baseball. So Benny deserves to be on the top of the lineup for now. And I know we're scared to push Judge down to the 3-hole, and I do get that. But I think as of right now, to extend our lineup, because right now when we get to 5 and 6 in the lineup and there's nothing, that's just a useless lineup. That I'd rather give yourself the chance of DJ and Benny doing something that you give Judge, Rizzo, Stanton run-producing opportunities. I know baseball doesn't believe in that anymore. Like we've talked about the 2019 Nationals with Trey Turner and then Adam Eaton setting up Soto and Rendon. Guess what? There's a formula there that still works. It worked in baseball for 100 years before we started overthinking it a little bit. So it's either slide Judge up and like let's try to sneak him that extra at bat as much as we can and just bat him straight lead off and get weird as shit. Or I think you're doing a Benny DJ at the top and hoping to cause action in front of Judge because he is currently our only offense. And Benny's...
yeah, so you like the last two lineups?
I mean, some shades of gray, like Rizzo didn't play yesterday, but I'm very open to the Benny DJ at the top of the lineup if DJ takes the turn or goes on the IL because... that's a whole nother situation. But shout out to Benny. He's kind of earned his keep towards the top of the lineup. And his at bats, and I don't know what to believe in, but he's looked more comfortable up there. But I think for the past 3 weeks or so, the guy's got an 800 OPS and he's hitting and he's getting on. So, yeah, I mean, going back to that St. Louis series, yeah, around an 800 OPS. So it's a home run in this series. I'm fine with Benny. Let's try to end on a positive note. It didn't come out crazy positive.
Didn't.
I think they've had like the most different lineups in baseball. I think Katie Sharp tweeted like it was like 130 or 110 different lineups. What's Buck doing with the Mets?
Oh boy, we're going Buck. I'm going through my tweets to see if there's anything that I feel like I missed this series that I want to talk about.
Nimmo, Marte, Lindor, Alonso, basically every game in the second half.
Yes. Players really
Alonso, Lindor, Marte, Nimmo, all 100 games in the 1 through 4. I mean, the Yankees were in a stretch like that, but then not even really. Judge is the only person that's done 100 games at one position.
He's having a good year.
Yeah. All right.
We got Joe's here. Should we get some closing thoughts from Joe's? I tuned in your Twitch at the end of the game yesterday, and you were still running pretty hot. Oh. Thinking about it.
Can you? Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess that I talked about it. I vented a lot in yesterday's episode, to say the least. Pinstripe strong. But the one thing that you said in this Talking Yanks episode that kind of resonated with me was you're playing for the names, you're coaching, if anything, or managing toward the names on the back of the jersey versus the name on the front. And for the team that this team was compared to until they weren't,
right,
the 98 Yankees, like Shane Spencer was allowed to come up and straight up take playing time away from guys in an all-time team.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people running the front office now were there in that time, and they just want to reinvent a wheel.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, look at some of the postseason moves. Torrey benched guys in the postseason.
Because you play. No, it's pretty funny. The Yankees always do lineup funny business because they're trying to look for an advantage in every game. Like they think if they change their lineup that they can find an advantage against a pitcher in a situation and a lane. Like they're almost playing bullpen lanes with their lineup.
Yeah.
And that's why they mix it up every day to try to find an advantage every day. They should take that mindset to who's playing.
Yeah.
Like they do who's playing and then they play that game. Like they should put all of that in the pot and say, how can we put the best lineup together?
Didn't Paul O'Neill and Bernie and all of them always say, like, I knew where I was hitting in the lineup and I knew who was batting in front of me and who was batting behind me every day. And I knew how to attack based on that.
Right.
So, like, nobody knows, except for maybe Judge, who knows I'm batting second until he's not now. He's batting third.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope September's different.
Should be.
It won't be.
That's an interesting view.
I've been saying that for I look like the Power Rangers guy.
Yeah, you look like our god.
Yeah. Let's look at the TV.
Wow. I was trying to find some 98 lineups for Jim, but yeah, I mean, you hear Paul O'Neill talk about. He goes, yeah. I mean, I saw some good pitches because I was around Bernie.
Yeah.
98 lineup?
Just there,
I mean, Knobloch played 150 games at leadoff. Jeter 145 in the 2-hole. O'Neill 148 in the 3-hole. Bernie 98 in the 4-hole. I mean, I think he got hurt for a little. Like, yeah. I mean, it just fucking, yeah. I mean, I've been saying that for 4 years, but I'm saying they even benched guys. Like, I'm trying to find did Hayes start against every lefty in the postseason? Charlie Hayes.
Top of my head, I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Or that's 96. Because remember they lost the first 2 games of the World Series in 96?
Yeah.
And then they fucking sat Boggs and Tino.
It's a Hall of Famer.
You play to the name on the front of your jersey.
They sat Wade Boggs.
But I think Hayes started. No, so they were a platoon.
Yeah.
Okay. So that, but then they also they sat I guess maybe it was he a platoon. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right, I gotta go because I gotta drive into the city. I'm glad we slept on it and that got a clear head. Actually, this is like 10 times more clear than last night.
Last night would have been a tough pod.
Last night was a tough pod.
Yeah. Go listen to Pinstripe Strong. Listen to Joe's.
If you want to see what could have happened.
I heard the Boone interview live as I was live, like when Boone said we have one of the best shortstops in baseball, and like my first, like I lost it.
Did you see my video, Joe's?
I did watch said video.
I mean, that was like 2019 when I didn't have a check mark and I didn't have as many people following my Twitter, and I would post shit like that. I can't do it now because everyone just wants to tear everyone down. I told Joe, you're verified now. You're gonna get teared down. But I mean, I saw someone on Reddit be like, imagine if Michael K was rolling around on his couch, pulling his hair out, giving a review of a game. Like,
yeah,
tried to.
He does it in such
I mean,
a
I
great
fucking
way.
texted you guys
Yeah.
that I was excited for Trevino.
Yeah.
I have videos where I was recording myself a reaction to Glaber's at bat, and I was like, listen, Glaber, just don't hit into a double play. Maybe I have this on my phone. I didn't post it. I was like, Glaber, just don't hit into a double play because Trevino's up next, and I want to see him get up against this Herget curveball. That's what I was saying into my phone. Yeah. And then it's about to happen, and they pinch hit for him.
Yeah.
And I was like, I felt like I was fucking getting pranked.
Yeah.
The August Yankees are a troll job. They've trolled us big time.
We've been trolled.
We're going to want Peraza. We're going to get activation of Marwin.
Yeah, September.
I thought I was getting.
Don't say Tyler Duffy. I think we got to wrap it. Is that the right show?
Don't play. We're gonna get out. Ball. Wow. Go Yanks, Tom Grams.
Go Yankees.